If you had an opportunity to meet any famous person you really wanted to meet, who would that person be? Drop that in the comments. But what if you weren't expecting to meet a famous person? And what if your surprise famous person was Marilyn Manson? Let's get into it. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You get a text from a friend of yours that says, I watched the content you just created and I really liked it. That happens to me all the time. And then I look in the comment section and I see nothing. And I just reply back, thanks. Thanks for telling me that you really liked it on my phone. Now go tell the world. I'm trying to continue to make content. Do me a favor, take 3 seconds and go hit the like button for me. And if you got it in you, throw a comment in there. Tell me about your favorite part. Tell me how it relates to something in your life. I had a surprise encounter with Marilyn Manson. So I'm backstage at this concert venue. In the backstage area, there's a whole like cafeteria. There's like picnic table style seating. There's places to chill out, whatever. So it's not unusual to see some of these famous people just kind of wander through. On this day, I'm sitting at one of those picnic table style seats, and I look over at this really tall and slender man coming into the room, and he was wearing a cowboy hat. And I had to look at him like real close, like, why does he look familiar, but I can't place it? It was Marilyn Manson walking into the cafeteria. And I get starstruck. That's what happens to me. I can't even help myself. Like I've seen some celebrities that every time I get a little weird on the inside. It's so strange. Anyway, so Marilyn Manson's walking into the room. And I'm like, wow, that's totally him. He walks up and he gets his food and a tray, and I'm just kind of keeping an eye on him. And then he walks over to my table. He looks right at me and says, do you mind if I sit here? And I'm like, yeah, have a seat, man, for sure. Like, I don't know. I just got all tongue-tied for a couple seconds there. Like I didn't know what I wanted to say. So he sits down and just begins to get his food a little organized. And I'm like, what do I say to this man? What am I going to say to Marilyn Manson? One, I really don't even know his music or anything like it. It's not like I was following him. It's just that I knew who he was. So he breaks into conversation with me a little bit. He's asking me, well, what do you do here? You know, and I explained that I'm a runner, and he knew what that was. And he asked me how that was. And it's like, it can be fun sometimes. Sometimes it's exhausting, you know. Oh, I bet, he says. So he's really just like totally chill, just having a normal conversation with me. And then I kind of started thinking about the things that I knew about Marilyn Manson. I thought, why not ask? I'm here. So there were picketers outside this venue. Like, I guess that was a thing. Like, they always picket his shows, and they were there that day. I had noticed them earlier. So I asked him about that first. I said, how does it make you feel with the people that are picketing outside? And he got a big smile on his face. And he said, you know what? Those picketers have probably made me more money than anything else. He said, it's not like I'm a really gifted singer. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm hearing him say that. So he said, I create entertainment for people. And that's what this is all about. And I said, is that what throwing little Bibles out into the audience is all about? He was like, yeah, that's what it's all about. I'm like, I didn't know if that was like a religious thing or an anti-religious thing. He said it has nothing to do with religion. It's just a gimmick. It's just a way to get people stirred up about something. He said, like those picketers out there, they're really stirred up. About what? He said, I just make music and I entertain people, and they don't like the style in which I do it. So they're protesting it, like in the name of their God or something. But the thing is that those protests are generating a lot of attention. The news teams will show up and film these people protesting my show. And he said it's the age old, there is no such thing as bad publicity. And I'm like, that never made more sense to me ever until that moment where I'm having a conversation with Marilyn Manson. And I said, that totally makes a lot of sense. I said, you seem so down to earth. Like, this is not imagined. Like, you seem so down to earth. This is not what I imagined a conversation with you would be like. He said, oh, I'm sure. He goes, me without the makeup and just having a chill day backstage. He said, I'm just a totally normal person. I don't really have any abnormalities. I'm an entertainer. And I thought that was the most impressive thing ever, that he was just so down to earth. And he chose my table to sit at. There was plenty of open seats, but for some reason, I think he just felt connected. I don't think we're that far apart in age either. So I felt like maybe he just wanted a little bit of normal conversation. And I was really thoroughly impressed with this man, just at the sheer brilliance of branding himself in becoming something, and taking the controversial road, choosing a path that he knows that the religious people are going to get really upset over, and that's really going to help promote him even more. And so yeah, it was an impressive thing. It was an impressive conversation. I have a lot of respect for him based on that conversation, because I got to see the human side. I got to see the no makeup, down to earth side. So we wrap up our conversation, and then later in the day, I realized that Marilyn Manson's getting ready to go on stage. So he's probably already gotten dressed and everything. So I kind of wander around just like, I'm going to see maybe the beginning of his show. I'm still backstage, and the door of his dressing room opens up, and here he comes. He's like platform boobs and these white painted face. He's wearing chaps and some kind of weird vesting or whatever. And he gives a little wave at me, recognizing that we had lunch that day, gives a little wave, and then he turns to go out on stage. And when he turned to go out on stage, the reality of the chaps hit me right in the face. Just a pasty white butt. I was like, I cannot unsee that. That just happened. I don't know if I changed my opinion about him in that moment, but it was a shocker for sure. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is the Just Davit podcast. If you like storytelling podcasts, then this is the channel for you. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you on the next story.